So this week's been a little bit slow, thankfully. Nothing too big. No Activision firing off its workers. No EA taking money away from their employees, stuff like that. So, I mean, for now, seems like a good week. Let's jump right into the news, shall we? To begin this week's news, we're going to talk about the indie world that was dropped on Wednesday. Games like Road 96, Aerial Knights Never Yield, Last Stop, Hindsight, Ali Ali World, The Longing. There's no game, Wrong Dimension, Hollow Knight Silksong, Elden Ring, TMNT, Shredder's Revenge, Chris Tales, Getsufuma Den, Undying Moon, Aztec Forgotten Gods, Skull the Hero Slayer, Art of Rally, Kiwi, Labyrinth City, Weaving Ties, The House of the Dead Remake, Ender Lilies, Beast of Maravilla Island, Fez, and Oxenfree 2 Lost Signals. So a very substantial list for Nintendo to have in their indie lineup, and so I'm pretty excited for most of these games. They look at least interesting, if not very compelling. So we'll see exactly how many of these games end up getting like mainstream recognition. We'll see, maybe. Onto some interesting hardware news. The PS5 is the fastest selling console in US history, and I'm not particularly surprised. Why? Well, because the PS5's got PS4 backwards compatibility. Sony's had a pretty good track record for some pretty good games, and there are at least, upcoming sequels that are coming up, such as God of War Ragnarok, maybe Part 3 to The Last of Us, Horizon Forbidden West, potentially Ghost of Tsushima 2 is listed here, Spider-Man 2, Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. I don't know about Uncharted 5, but so there are a ton of games that Sony has up their sleeve that they could release, and even if the games are terrible, most people will probably buy it anyway. So I'm not particularly surprised that the PS5 is the fastest selling console in US history. I just wonder how long this lasts. Who knows, maybe Microsoft comes up with something and pulls out ahead in the future, but for now at least, PS5 is reigning king in the console wars for now. Up next then, Amazon's trying to take over the whole world, but can't quite get into the gaming scene. Amazon canceled its Lord of the Rings MMO, announced 2 years ago due to dispute with Chinese conglomerate Tencent. And, I mean, this is just another big setback for Amazon's game adventures. I mean, with what was the other game that they had? It was an MMO that they tried to get into, and that failed spectacularly to the point where they had to refund all purchases. Yeah, so I'm not particularly surprised that this happened, but I don't think it's that great. But, I don't know. We'll have to see if Amazon will actually continue into the gaming scene or if they're going to pull back like Disney did. So, we'll see what happens. On to our final news. Days Gone creative director and writer John Garvin said that if you love a game and want a sequel, you should buy it at fucking full price. Now, I do not condone taking your anger out on the consumer base, but I understand where his pain is coming from. New IP basically got shafted due to Sony executives saying, oh, we don't want a new sequel for this. I fully understand where his pain is coming from, but that doesn't mean you get to take it out on your consumer base. So sure, it's really unfortunate that, Days Gone didn't get like a sequel or like some big DLC associated with it, compared to like Horizon Zero Dawn, God of War, Ghost of Tsushima. Like, I get his pain, but, you don't just take that out on the consumer base. So, I don't know. At least, generally speaking, the reviews for Days Gone were decent, but it just didn't make enough money, I guess, for Sony's likings. And with last week's reporting, Sony might only want just blockbuster hits, so God of War Ragnarok, Ghost of Tsushima 2, Horizon Forbidden West. We'll see whether or not this is a trend or if this is just Sony saying Days Gone just wasn't that good of a game, we don't want a sequel, and so if this is just a one-off case, I get where Sony's coming from. I still think that Days Gone could get a sequel / DLC for it, like a big expansion, but we'll see what they do in the future. Oh, and one last thing I forgot to talk about. Resident Evil Village is getting its demo. It's coming to the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 April 17th, and oh, I'm a day late. Oops. Well, we can still talk about it anyway, but basically, you get a 30-minute demo with these certain in between these times, and I think it's a little asinine to just set a demo between two time periods. Like, I understand the making it 30 minutes so you don't like somehow get to the some plot spoiler heavy parts of the game, but like, why make between April 17th, 5 p.m. to April 18th, 1 a.m. Pacific time in North America. Like, why would you just do that? I don't get it. But so, they're going to have another 60-minute demo with Village and Castle, May 1st, 5 p.m. to May 2nd, 5 p.m. So, I mean, if you missed out on the demo for now, you'll get another chance later. But I don't quite get the time restriction. At least, like, between you can only play it between 2 days. But, you know, it's whatever. So, yeah. If y'all played the Resident Evil demo, let me know what you thought about it, because I'm a little bit too scared to play it. Just a little too scared. Maybe I'll play it in the future, but we'll see. And so that'll be the end of this week's news. Nothing much to really talk about because nobody decided to shaft employees or, you know, take money away from others, so I'm kind of thankful for that. But there was some bad news with, like, Days Gone probably never getting a sequel ever. We'll see in the future what happens, and then Amazon failing to complete their Lord of the Rings MMO and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's a little disappointing, but, you know, I'd rather take at least this type of news over, you know, Activision Blizzard firing multiple employees, and then Bobby Kotick taking a ton of money. So, I don't know. We'll see if news will only go uphill from here, but knowing the gaming scene, probably not. But hope you guys have a great day and a great week. I'll see y'all next week. Hopefully with only good news. Hopefully.